Mark Meirowitz, who's in New York, is an international political analyst and professor at the State University of New York's Maritime College. Good to have you back with us, Professor. Is this a shot across the bow by Israel's fragile new government, a show of strength to not only Hamas but the people of Israel?
I'm not so sure. I think this is more, quid pro quo and limited. I'll tell you why. First of all, the coalition in government in Israel has an Arab party, Mr. Mansour Abbas, that has 4 seats in the parliament, which actually makes the coalition. It glues it together. I don't think that the Israeli government is going to do anything very much more provocative, because I think the Arab party would probably drop out of the coalition, which would mean that maybe Netanyahu would come back. So I don't think that's going to happen. I think this was a specifically targeted response to the incendiary balloons, and hopefully it will not go any further. I mean, the Jerusalem march is in the mix there, obviously, too, so there are, problematic things going on. I would also say that the timing is interesting because connecting the dots. Look, President Biden is embarking on a very big meeting, lots going on with Putin and so forth. And so the United States is distracted in terms of its diplomacy in Europe with Russia, with China, and it doesn't want any further escalations in the Middle East, that's for sure. So I think that maybe Israel saw an opening here to respond. They attacked military compounds. And you said in your report there were no injuries. So I think that maybe this is just a quid pro quo, and hopefully the ceasefire will be maintained. I don't think there'll be any further escalation, but of course I'm not able to have a crystal ball to say so. But I think the factor of keeping this government coalition in place is very, very important. And it could collapse if there's further, escalation of the conflict in terms of military force on the part of Israel.
And the Israeli military has said that these latest attacks are in response to those incendiary balloons that were released from Gaza on Tuesday. Could Israel's response or could the release of those balloons also be a way of Hamas looking to test this fragile new Israeli coalition to see what they might do in the face of future attacks from Hamas?
I mean, that's an extremely interesting point. We really don't know, but certainly Hamas, when it is not at war and not fighting, is apparently not as effective in terms of building its support on the Arab street and in Gaza. So it continues to act, and of course, it had an event, the Jerusalem March, to react to. So again, there's timing here and there's reaction here. Hopefully, we're not going to have continuation of, provocative action and then response, and then provocative action and then response, because that could then escalate into a full-blown conflict. So I think you have a good point on both sides. I think we see each side testing the other. Look, Israel is just attacking a military compound without injuries. I mean, they're not escalating it, and Hamas is sending balloons, albeit very, very damaging. 20 fires going on in Israel in agricultural areas. It's kind of, the conflict is sort of burning, and it's continuing on a lower level, and hopefully it doesn't go to the higher level. And as I said before, that could cause a ripple effect in terms of the government. And I also think the United States would not be very happy, the diplomats right now, with their very big top-level agenda, to have that interrupted by another war in Gaza, another battle in Gaza. And I'm not a fly on the wall. I'm assuming the United States is speaking to Israel and indicating to them that it needs to be kept in a level where it is not going to escalate, because they don't want that. They have bigger fish to fry, bigger issues to resolve.
Okay, Professor Mark Meirowitz, thank you so much again for sharing with us your analysis on TRT World.